Am I the asshole for not making my son apologize to my mother-in-law after an argument? I, male 41, am married to my wife, female 37. I have 2 kids from my previous marriage, boy 15, girl 13. I am Jewish, as was my first wife before she passed. My current wife is not. We have no kids together. My kids have always got along with their stepmom and her family fairly well, until recently. Thanksgiving with my wife's family is a huge affair, and it's the only chance a lot of the family has to see each other during the year. My kids and I do not eat pork, but there are always options for us, or we bring something we specifically can eat, like vegetarian lasagna. Wednesday night I had dinner with my wife's parents at their place. I should mention that my wife is not very personally religious, although she attends services with her parents monthly. My parents-in-law are very, very conservative style evangelicals. We mostly don't talk about our religious differences, although I once had to stop my mother-in-law from encouraging my daughter to be baptized. Everything was fine until the end of the meal when my mother-in-law crossed her arms and said, "See, we told you nothing bad would happen." I asked her what she meant. My mother-in-law said she had mixed bacon into one of the dishes, a casserole, to prove a point to us. Oh no.
Throw them red flags. I'm just gonna sit here and watch them come down for a minute. Bacon-flavored red flags. They smell good,
but they taste like bitter disrespect. I tried to ask calmly why she would do something like that. My mother-in-law said it was to show that there was no point in following the Old Testament law anymore. I asked my father-in-law if he knew what she had done, and he said yes. He seemed more uncomfortable, but he talked a bit about how Christ came to free us from the Jewish law, and that they wanted to show us how we could be freed from the law as well. He has worked as a pastor in the past. By this time, my daughter was crying and left the room. My wife got up and followed her. My son has been growing more observant as he gets older. He is more observant than me or my daughter. He flipped out. He screamed at my parents-in-law that they were terrible people, called my mother-in-law some very nasty names, and said he never wanted to come back. My father-in-law started shouting back, and my mother-in-law started crying. I told my kids to get in the car and then told my wife we were leaving. She told me she would stay at her parents' so she could help with Thanksgiving prep the next morning. Maybe that wasn't the right move, lady. I was texting with my wife on Thanksgiving, and she told me my son is not welcome to come until he apologizes for the things he called my mother-in-law. I told her that's ridiculous, but she is siding with her parents. I told my kids we would not be attending Thanksgiving. Instead, we ordered Chinese and watched movies. My son was fine with it, but I could tell my daughter was down. She missed out on seeing a lot of friends she has in my wife's family. My wife is still at her parents' as of now. I should mention that I too am very angry at what happened, and what I feel is the disrespect shown to me and especially my kids. I am torn on whether to encourage my son to apologize contingent on a mutual apology to us. Am I the asshole? You know, putting myself in your position, I would not make my kids apologize for any of this shit. And typically, there are 2 things that I will not touch in a post, and that's politics and religion. This is religion focused, but it's not, because it's not about the basis of your religion. It's not about your beliefs. It's simply a matter of mutual respect of different beliefs. You have it, they don't. Tricking you into doing something that was against your beliefs to prove a point was an ASCON 1 offense on their part. That is a terrible thing to do to someone, and they should know better. They definitely do know better and did it anyway. Your son had every right to flip out, and I'm glad that he did. Apparently caused mother-in-law enough pain to cry, and if that pain isn't enough for her to wake up and realize that what she did was extraordinarily wrong, then her. I think that's all there is to this. If she doesn't respect your beliefs, she doesn't respect you, period. And when it comes to religious beliefs, it's simply a matter of mutual respect, right? You believe what you believe because you were brought up that way. It's instilled in who you are, as is for them. They believe what they believe because they were brought up that way. The difference is that nowhere within their belief system does it say that you should trick someone to shit on their religion. Nowhere. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. You know, if someone was going to pull some shit like this, it was going to be a mother-in-law. That's it. I know there are great mother-in-laws out there. We have this discussion often. My mother-in-law's great. My mom is great too. Candy Thunder. A lot of people don't have it great. This is one of them. This dude. Sorry, guy. You pulled the short straw when it came to mother-in-law. This is beliefs. This is one of those core pillars of what you're built on. And if they have no respect for that, they have no respect for your family, obviously don't have any respect for your children at all. And if your wife is going to side with them over that and not see how up that is, then she doesn't respect your belief structure either. The fact that she allowed this to happen to your kids, and I hope she didn't know about it. Surely she didn't know about it. She has to have some feelings on it. I can't believe that she sided with them after doing what they did. So either they've just got her hooked somehow, which is entirely possible, and even though she knows it's up, she's siding with them because she feels like she has no choice. That is a super likely scenario here. In that case, there's nothing that you can do, unfortunately. She has to realize that them having no respect for you or your children is an ask on one offense, and she's got a choice to make. And it kind of sounds like she's already made that choice. Hopefully she gets her head out of her mother's bacon-filled ass and comes back home and starts showing you and your kids that she knows that was up and it will never happen again, because she won't allow it to happen again, even if that means going no contact. You don't attack someone's beliefs. You don't. You respect that they believe something different than you do, and you move on. That's it. Someone who tries to force that on you or tricks you into deviating from your beliefs unknowingly is just a shit person. I think that tells you all you need to know about her. Dear God. That's all there is to it. Betrayal of mother-in-law. The other white meat.